Hey guys, what's up? It's GVKcollectibles, and it's been a while since we've done a figure review Friday, and I figured in honor of Halo Infinite's campaign releasing this previous previous Wednesday, I should say, let's take a look at not just one, but 4 figures from the Wicked Cool Toys Spartan Collection Wave 3. What's up, guys? As I said, today we'll be taking a look at the Spartan collection. Not just any figure, we're going to be doing the entire wave. I don't have the Mark 5B packaging up here, just because it doesn't have the clamshell packaging, like the plastic in it. So I just figured we'd take a look at these 3. So these are the 3 campaign figures, of course, we have, and we'll also, don't worry, I'll be covering the Mark 5B that came with this wave. So it's pretty much a standard kind of packaging we've seen with the Spartan collection, since Wave 2, technically. So it is that kind of newer design. So you got Master Chief, Noble 6, and Sarah Palmer from Halo. So each from their respective Halo titles. We got Master Chief from Halo Infinite, Noble 6 from Reach, and of course Sarah Palmer. Sarah Palmer is interesting. We'll get into the her details and everything, because she's technically I think it's like a good combination of the Halo 4 and 5 for her, because she was both in those games. So I think we'll get into that a little bit in a minute, but let's just take these figures out. So let's just take a look at the box. Just as I said, same standard kind of packaging you've seen on these cool toys. You got the Master Chief. You've got the Master Chief with accessories, Spartan Collection, Halo, 8 pieces, Halo Infinite on the side, along with the UNSC Infinity, which looks pretty cool. Which actually a thing is too, if it is from Halo Infinite, it will have that right there, which I think is pretty cool. Then you get the other Spartans in the back. So this Master Chief comes with some cool stuff. So it comes with the commando rifle, the grapple shot, and additional hands. Then we also have the other figures. We got the Mark 5B, which is like a Spartan series, not Spartan series, like a multiplayer figure, and we have Sarah Palmer, and we also have Noble 6. So with that out of the way, let's get the figures. Well, the figures have been out of the packaging, as you can tell, for quite a bit, but let's get into the figures themselves. And here we have the entire wave of the Wicked Cool Toys Spartan Collection Series 3 out of the packaging. They've been out of the packaging, of course, and I gotta say, a lot of these figures are really, really cool. I really love the Master Chief. This is a huge improvement over the first release. Of course, we've seen some figures before, like the Mark 5B. There was one in the 2 subsequent waves. Noble 6 is kind of the same mold, but there is some differences here and there, which I really, really appreciate. And the Sarah Palmer is a completely new mold herself, so I really enjoyed that. I love how each of these figures are really, really cool. I love how we're getting at least 3 campaign figures and maybe 1 multiplayer figure. It kind of jumps here and there, because I think the previous few waves, because there was only 2. So the first wave it was just Master Chief and Cat. Then the second wave it was Jerome, Emil, and another Master Chief, of course. But so it's kind of cool to see that we're getting kind of variations in all the different Spartans. It's cool because a lot of these guys do come with the different weapons and stuff, and a few ones that have been significantly updated since their first release of those figures. I think the only new weapon that we see on this in this whole entire wave is a sniper rifle with a Mark 5B, which looks really, really cool. And we'll get to that. So, first things first, let's jump into the accessories. I'm really only going to probably talk about the articulation maybe on the Sarah Palmer and the Noble 6. I've never done the Mark 5B. I'm not going to talk about the Master Chief articulation because it's practically identical to the first release. So, with that out of the way, let's get into the accessories. These figures come with quite a bit of accessories, mostly interchangeable hands and a few different weapons. So I figure let's just start with Chief, because he is the kind of returning figure, along with the Mark 5B. We'll just go in order how we... So Chief does come with some interchangeable hands, kind of the same exact hands we've seen from... Fucking phone. So straight. Yeah. Alright. And as I said, guys, these figures always come with quite a bit of accessories. Let's just talk about Master Chief, because a lot of these are practically the similar kind of hands we've seen on the previous Master Chief figure, like the first release and the second one, which was just a re-release of the first one with, I think, better joints. But either way, you know, it's about standard. I'm not going to dwell too much on the Master Chief hands, just because they're stuff we've already seen. They're very identical to the original, but they just have better paint apps, which I really, really appreciate. He also does come with the Commando rifle, which looks really, really cool. I really love the weapon. I've been really liking, I've actually grown to really like this weapon in the multiplayer. It's really, really cool. I love the design of it. Reminds me of the, as I think I said, it reminds me of the Titanfall, assault rifle, which I really, really like. But yeah, it's really, really cool. Really good detail. I think the detailing on the weapons has definitely improved since the Wave 1, which was just, I assuming just going based off the just stuff that they had from the they were shown early work in development work, but this is a lot more defined. There isn't too much minute detail like the ammo counter or the red dot, which is okay. And also Chief comes with this, which I really, really enjoy, because it kind of reminds me of old gimmick toys from Kenner. This is the grapple shot. Now he does come with a molded grapple shot on his left hand, left arm, which, you know, is pretty cool. But this is kind of a gimmick too, a gimmick toy, which I really, really appreciate. It's got some good details, a lot of silver, gray. There's some different types of gray here and there, some black, and it's a really good sculpted piece, and you can just attach that onto Master Chief. And the cool thing is, if you're not a big fan of this particular piece, you don't have to equip it, just because there is a molded grapple shot piece on the Master Chief figure, which I think is really, really cool. So let's jump into the Spartan, the Mark 5B. Mark 5B comes with some cool accessories too, like the SR7 sniper rifle, which looks freaking cool. It looks pretty dope. It's really, really pliable, very much like all the other weapons. They're very pliable. The bipod moves out, which is pretty cool, and the carry handle is kind of on a hinge, which is really, really cool. It is a little bent just because of how the plastic is, but I really love the look of this sniper rifle, because even though it's kind of just the same sniper rifle from Halo 4 and 5, there are significant differences. It looks really, really cool of how they were able to kind of get it to look like the Halo Reach one, kind of in terms of the paint apps and detail. Once again, really good detail. Wicked Cool Toys has been doing a continuously great job on the paint detailing on the weapons itself, and it looks pretty good, like the sniper rifle. As always, he does come with these same kind of interchangeable hands, but instead it's this kind of orange kind of color, so he comes with a fisted hand, 5 sets of hands, which is very unique, as opposed to also the ones he got on. But, you know, it's a cool orange paint. I'm not really going to delve into detail, because these are the exact kind of same hands we've had with the figure. The only one I'm going to go into super detail is probably the Sarah Palmer. He also comes with a sidekick too, which looks really, really cool. Now this is, of course, as I said, probably just because I didn't want to do a new molded piece. This is just the OG sidekick. So from the 2019, I want to say the 2020 reveal from E3 last year. But it's okay. It's a pretty cool sculpted piece, and I can just strap in, which is really, really nice. Then we got Noble 6. Noble 6 comes with the exact same kind of hands. Basically the same mold, just this kind of gray color, which is pretty cool. I mean, I figure I'd not go too much detail with the hands, because if you have seen the Mark 5B, or if you own that one, it's very similar. Both the Mark 5B in this wave and the Noble 6 figure, they're very similar design in a lot of ways. And of course we got the AR right here, which I think is the exact same mold as the Master Chief one, but with paint decals to make it look like the Halo Reach one, which looks really, really good. I really like it. I like this one better than the other one that Chief came with, which looks really, really cool. I love the look of it. I love the design of it too. It's pretty cool. Then he also comes with a knife too, which is really, really cool. Very different from the Mark 5B, like a little knife, which looks really, really cool, really well detailed. It's just a black, like, it's just a little black piece with some silver dry brushing on it, at the bottom of it to kind of give it that the hilt kind of look, which looks cool. And you can sheath that in with the figure. It has the knife sheath. Eddie, of course, comes with an M6 Magnum. It's kind of the same one that Cat has with the white line. Kind of give it to differentiate the different kind of the Magnum, which looks really, really cool. As I said, the weapon, and it's also very pliable too. So Sarah Palmer is kind of the new figure out here. Oh, sorry, keep the camera, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that. So Sarah Palmer has, these are actually kind of the newer hands and unique because they are the Spartan 4 kind of design of the of the armor. So you got these like tips right here, and there's not really a tip on the finger piece, so it is that kind of unique looking design as opposed to the Mark 7 and the Mark 6 and the Mark 5B. Very different. So this is kind of like the first indication that we've gotten of a Mark 4 Spartan, not Mark 4, Spartan 4 with the Gen 2 style armor, which is really, really cool. She comes with fisted hands, open hands, and a variety of different hands, so which is really, really cool. I kind of I dig the look of them. And also very much like the Cat, she does come with an interchangeable head sculpt of the maskless one, which looks pretty good. I think it looks better than the Cat one that we got from the first wave. It shows that they're definitely improving on the face sculpting. It looks really, really good. Got the brown hair. Looks really, really cool. Then of course you have she comes with, so this is why I say it's kind of like a mixture between the Halo 4 one and the Halo 5. So this is the exact same kind of Magnum, but it has the black slide kind of to, I guess, to kind of indicate, she comes with 2 of these to make it look like the Halo 5 Magnum, which is I'm okay with. But this is also the same design. She has this kind of similar design Magnum she uses in Halo 4, like Spartan Ops too, so that's kind of cool. But she also mainly making me think this is a Halo 5 design one that they were going with because of the assault rifle. The assault rifle looks really, really good. I really love the look of the Halo 5 assault rifle. It has those elements of the Halo 3 one, and has kind of the hints of green here and there. It looks really, really cool. I love the design of the Halo 5 AR. Looks really, really cool. So yeah, those are all the accessories for the Spartan. So let's jump into the greater details of the figures themselves. Alright, and I figured let's start with Noble 6 and the Mark 5B just because they're very similar in detail. So as you can kind of tell, you see a lot of difference and similarities with the molds and everything, which is kind of cool, is pretty cool, but you also get some hints, changes here and there. Of course, he has the knife and the sheath on him, and he doesn't have the Mark 4 shoulders, which look really, really cool. Noble 6 looks really, really cool. The thing that bothers me, though, I think, is the two-tone of the helmet, where I feel like this helmet right here, because the gray is not dark enough, it should be on par with color right here, which is kind of bugs me, but I'm kind of okay with it because I do like this figure. I think it's really, really cool. Noble 6 is pretty great. I love all Noble Team. I kind of dig how with each wave they are doing Noble, the whole entire of Noble Team, which is going to be cool. June's coming out in the next wave, which is going to be really, really exciting. But as you can tell the differences here and there with the this Spartan figure. Of course, there is the Mark 5B shoulders, but it's really, really cool. Also, the differentiation of the visors. I like the kind of blue kind of visor right here with this Mark 5B, and the color out, like the orange and the purple, look really, really cool. They're very kind of weird. I wouldn't think these colors would look good together in the photographs, but I do have to admit they look pretty cool, and you can kind of see the whole design. So this is probably going to be an armor coating that we'll get in Halo Infinite eventually. Also, I want to just say multiplayer has been hella fun. I really love the multiplayer for Halo Infinite, but it's pretty cool because he also, how he has the lights and everything that are purple. Noble 6 has the blue hinted throughout, which looks really, really cool. I really like that. As I said, I think I like the Noble, I love the Mark 5B design just in general. It looks really, really cool and very unique. But he's got it's pretty cool. As I said, there's also the silver. Not the silver. It's kind of a gold visor, which looks really, really cool. I really love the look of it. Also kind of different, the paint shading. Once again, I think Wicked Cool Toys are continuously doing a really great job with paint apps and everything with these figures. So yeah, those are some of my the details on the Noble 6 and the Mark 5B. So let's jump into Sarah Palmer and Master Chief. Here's Sarah Palmer. So we'll get into Chief really quickly because I just want to show the differences between the first release and this one, just so. But like, let's talk about Sarah Palmer. I really like the Scout armor. The Scout armor is very unique, and it's also I know there's a lot of people who do not like the Spartan 4 Gen 2 suit a lot because it's very different in comparison to like the Mark 7 that we're getting, which I think a lot more people like because it has elements of like the Mark 5B and also some elements of like the classic Mark 6 we see in like Halo 3. But I think this looks really cool. It's kind of like this, I want to say kind of grayish color. I'm not sure exactly which, but you do good hints of like kind of gray here and there, like a dark gray. This is light gray, and including the visor is really cool. This blue kind of visor, which I really like. Scout helmet is pretty dang cool, I think, in Halo Infinite, but I really like I just generally like how this is a very different figure comparative to the other figures we've gotten out of the way, just because this is like our first Mark Gen 2 figure we've gotten, and you can kind of tell the armor kind of rides up a little higher on the figure itself, like on the character itself. There's really no armor protection, but it looks all really good. A lot of cool painted detail, and also the boots, as you can compare them to Mark 5B. Which I'm just comparing them just purely because these were like, we went from this for multiplayer from Halo Reach to this for Halo 4, so you kind of tell the difference. And I understand there's a lot of people who don't like it, the design differences, but I'm kind of okay with it. I like the design changes for the Mark 5. The Gen 2 armor, which looks pretty cool. Like a lot of cool hinted details here and there, and even within the tech suit itself, you get to see like a lot of cool like sculpted details, which is really cool. I really dig the look of it. A lot of silver dry brushing, which looks really cool. I really dig it. So yeah, those are some of the details on Sarah Palmer. Like you see the hints of red throughout, which looks really cool. So yeah, let's jump into Master Chief, the final thing. Then we'll get into articulation for her and the Mark 5B. Then we'll get some size comparisons and get my overall thoughts on these figures. Right, and here we have the original Master Chief from Series 1 of the Spartan Collection, and we have the recent one. And you can tell a lot has definitely changed with these figures. I do think the paint detailing on this one is a lot better. As you can kind of tell, it's kind of like a darker green as opposed to this, where it's a little bit lighter, but they do a good job of like making it look like how it does in the reveal that we saw last year. Also, there are big notable differences, and I think with all these Spartans that I didn't mention is with the Series 1s, they had this like kind of like plastic right here, this kind of plastic gold visor, as opposed to now it's just a purely kind of paint detailing on it, which so I'm kind of conflicted because I think this looks good, but I also like the novelty of this. I love the look of having the kind of like actual kind of plastic silver to it because it gives it a shine. As you can kind of see, you can see the ring light within, but overall I do think this one is a definitely better figure. So let's get this guy out of the way real quick and talk about this Master Chief. I do think, as I said, the paint detailing on it is a lot better. Like it's a lot more scuffed up, just due to how he looks like in like the trailer and reveal stuff, which look really cool. So yeah, this is definitely like, I would think, my ideal Master Chief figure. I really love the look of this figure just in general. As you can also tell, there is the regular grapple hook. It doesn't really have too much detail as opposed to like the bigger one, the gimmick one, but I think it's okay. I'm glad that they included it because I really love the grapple hook. The grapple hook is amazing in Halo Infinite. But yeah, lots of cool painted details. You get like a lot more kind of like brown, like not brown, this black kind of color to indicate like plasma burns or blast burns on the armor, which look really cool. And just in general, I do think this figure is a lot better than it was from the original release. So it kind of shows, like, if you compare them once again, comparing them side by side, you could definitely tell Wicked Cool Toys has definitely done a continuously great job on the in terms of paint apps and everything, and even articulation, because these figures are a lot more, I feel like, solid with their articulation. They're able to hold like that pose for a while, as opposed to like the initial ones, which, like, if you the Master Chief is kind of a bad example, but like it's a very kind of loose kind of articulation, which is definitely unfortunate. So with that out of the way, let's get into articulation. As I said, we'll be only talking about the Mark V, the Noble 6 figure, and also the Sarah Palmer, just because those are the brand new figures. Technically, and I've not done the Mark V-B, I never have reviewed one, so it'll just give you kind of a basis of like how each one's different. And as I said, we've done the Master Chief already. Not much articulation has changed with this guy, which is fine with me. I think the articulation for the first figure was really great. So let's jump into the articulation. So let's start with the Sarah Palmer figure. So Sarah Palmer can look up quite a little bit, but she can look down quite a bit. I will say there is also, I don't know if you can tell, in the detail there is a little bit of hindrance due to kind of like where the normal, like this head sculpt would go, so that is kind of hindered, but that's kind of okay. The arms move out that forward. They are single double jointed elbows, wrist rotate, and they can hinge up and down, which is really, really good. She does have like an ab crunch, which is really, really great. She can move side to side. It's a little loose, as you can kind of tell, like very, very loose, but you know, I think it's something that they will definitely improve, like not glue or anything, but the legs can move out that far, and they can't really move too like that far, which is kind of disappointing just due to like the hindrance of the armor, and they can't really move back just due to how it is sculpted right here. But you do get the double jointed knees, then you can have the upper, you can move the foot up and down, and it oh crap, yeah, so there we go. It just popped back in. She doesn't really have like too much of an ankle pivot, as I can tell. Oh, there it is. Yeah, she does. But it's not necessarily the best. I don't think it is nearly as good as the Mark V-B or the Master Chief figures, or the Mark 7 for that matter. Sarah Palmer has some pretty good articulation, but just I think due purely to the design, and this being like their first time doing the Gen 2 style Halo, the Mjolnir armor, it is a little like kind of wonky, but I'm pretty sure they'll figure it out, like in terms of just fixing the articulation. I do think this is a cool figure though. I do like the Sarah Palmer figure, so let's, with Sarah Palmer out of the way, let's take a look at, sorry about that. So this will be the Noble 6 will be the exact same way of a figure, so like as the Mark V-B, so you can't really look up all too much. You can't even look down all too much. Is that the case for? Yeah, it's the case for the Mark V, as the regular Mark V as well, which is kind of disappointing because you can't really get them into good like articulation or anything. It is kind of hindrance due to the back of the helmet as well. His arms can move out that forth, which is really, really cool. He does have double jointed elbows, very similar to Sarah Palmer. Wrists are on a hinge as well, and you can like pop them in and out, which is really, really cool. Mine are not cooperating. There we go. Then also he kind of like waist can move side to side, which is kind of good. He can move back and forth. It is hindrance due to the armor, just how it's designed, of course. He can kick his legs out that far, so a little bit better than the Sarah Palmer figure. He does have double jointed knees, which is really, really cool. He does kind of have there's a bit of a rotation right here at the calf, but he can also hinge, feet move up and down, and he do have the toe articulation. I don't think, yeah, Sarah Palmer does not have the toe articulation, so yeah. And he does have an ankle pivot. So like, and as I said, the Master Chief figure has practically the identical articulation that he had with the first figure. But yeah, the articulation is pretty good on the Mark V figures in general. I do think a big complaint of mine is definitely the head not being able to really move all too well. That's probably just how it's designed. There is like a kind of hinge, but doesn't really cooperate, or it could just be personally my figure that's having this problem. So, but either way, the articulation is pretty good on all these figures. So with that out of the way, let's jump into some size comparisons and see what they scale with. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this was kind of difficult just because of how many figures there are and how much space they take up. So here they are compared to some different figures from different companies. Of course, we have the Elite Trooper from the Black Series from Hasbro. We have the McFarlane Armored Batman, the new movie Monster Series Megalon, and of course we have the Ultimate Halloween Kills Michael Myers in the back. So, like, kind of a standard, like, these are technically supposed to be 6.5-inch figures, and I do actually kind of appreciate, because it's a thing that I've noticed, particularly with the Master Chief figure, because Sarah Palmer is, Spartan 4s are generally a lot shorter, so, and compared to the Spartan 2s, who are just monsters, and even with the Spartan 3s, like Noble 6 here, which is really, really cool. I like that little detail that they put in with these figures, like, to kind of make them size accurate, which I appreciate. And they're supposed to be, these are also supposed to be 6.5-inch figures, and I usually say they scale a little bit closer to the 7-inch scale, as opposed to the 6-inch scale. But of course, like the Batman I'm comparing it to, he's a little bit bigger because he's the armored Batman, and the Megalon is technically, like, I think it's like a 6.5-inch figure, so it's like he's on par with these guys. So it is very interesting to see all these kind of different figures compared to each other. The entire wave, once again, standing off, ready to fight the Covenant or banish whatever different generations of Spartans, which I really, really like. I think I love the idea that Wicked Cool Toys is putting into, like, the Spartan collection, as we get to see kind of different generations of Spartans. Of course, we got the Spartan 2s, we got the Spartan 3s, and we got the Spartan 4s, along with the brand, like the Mark 5B, which is really, really cool, kind of showing off multiplayer armor, which I really appreciate. It's always one of the things I love to see in, like, figures, is just people make, like, the multiplayer figures become, like, actual figures in like the actual Cub figures, which is really, really cool. So overall thoughts on the wave, I think it's a really, really great wave. If you're looking to pick up any particular figures, I think Sarah Palmer is really, really cool if you like that character in particular, or if you just really kind of like the Scout design in general. I think is really, really cool. The new Master Chief, I think this is the good one to go with, although I would say wait, just because there is a 20th anniversary pack coming out with a Mark V Master Chief from Halo Combat Evolved, and also another one from Infinite, and it'll be kind of the same design as this, and the same, probably same paint details, but it'll come with the assault rifle and I think the disruptor, which is good. I would definitely pick up the Noble 6 as well. If you are interested in collecting the whole Noble team as a whole, definitely continue doing that. Mark 5B, I would say, is optional. If you want the sniper rifle, I think the sniper rifle is let alone worth it, and I really do kind of like the paint job on it as well. I like the visor color, and once again, it is the exact same figure, but like a lot of the articulation has been improved. The joints are not as loose, which is really great. Wicked Cool Toys continues to do a really, really great job with the Halo license. I can't wait to see more. Apparently, we are getting like maybe Halo 3 stuff, which is going to be really, really cool, like an Arbiter figure, which I'm very excited about. So yeah, that's the Figure Review Friday. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. This was kind of like I'm a little rusty because I haven't filmed one of these in quite a bit, just because work's been crazy. But hopefully you guys liked the video. I know I like making these, so make sure to hit like and subscribe and hit a little bell notification so you get notified when we upload this Figure Review Fridays, What's in the Box Wednesdays, Mythical Mountain Mondays, whenever we upload them. As I said, work for both me and Jack's Bob Guy it's been crazy just because of the holidays and everything. So, you know, there's that. But I will try to continuously do the figure reviews. I think I am, at the end of the year, though, I am going to be doing a top 10 figure list, and I'm also probably going to be doing a top 10, like, comic books that I've read, like, comic book series that I've been reading this past year. So, I'll probably be putting out those closer to the end of the year. It's not December yet, so you'll probably see those at the end of the year. Then we'll probably be taking a break in January, or like a week in January, just to give us kind of a break because with work and everything. So yeah, also check us out on Instagram and my Facebook as well. Also check us out on Mercari. Links are all down below. So with that being said, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and hopefully you're having a fun time playing Halo Infinite like I am, and peace, y'all.